Blades. We haven't spoken to you since Paris, right after, you won silver. How have you been? Just tell us, kind of catch us up on what's been happening so far, heading into this new year.
Yeah, so life has been amazing after Paris. I went to Iowa, so now I'm a student athlete at the University of Iowa. My weight class is 160, so our lineup was just amazing. I'm so happy to be there. The girls are great. We just have such a strong team. Coach Chun, Coach Tanya, and Coach Gary are all great. So yeah, it's been amazing. I've had so many opportunities. I went to the White House, so that was super fun. Meeting the president and just being around the Olympians. I remember seeing at opening ceremonies. It was really cool. Yeah, my life has been a little different, and just balancing all of that after Paris and then school and then also season. It was pretty hard, but that's all dying down, and now we're getting to the peak of our season. So we have national duels in 2 days. Really excited to win a national dual team title with my team, and so I've just been living it up for sure.
Talk about, obviously, after Paris, going to a Cubs game, throwing out the first pitch. What was that like?
No, I forgot about that part. That was so cool. I've been a Cubs fan since birth, so and I just remember, seeing these celebrities throwing when I was younger, watching the Cubs game, and then just to think that I was able to do the same, and I have a custom jersey from them, so sorry, this is so cool. So I picked my number to be 5 because that's my favorite number, and then it says Blades in the back, and then just throwing the first pitch. I just remember being not really nervous, but the people that went before me didn't even make the glove, and I was like, uh-oh. But I was like, wait a second, I went to Paris, I can throw a ball in the glove. So I did it, and that was really cool, and I was so happy.
And finally, can you reflect on your whole Paris experience, and now that looking back at it and what you really learned and were able to grow from that experience?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just, Paris was an amazing experience. But I just did not realize how mentally and emotionally it took out of me. I just think wrestling, physical, just win basically. But I mean, leading up to it, tapering, being smart with your body, how you feel. We didn't train at the same time as some athletes because we all wrestled different times. So, that was it was a lot mentally. But I took every ounce, from meeting Snoop Dogg to being at opening ceremony to winning a silver medal. I mean, it was just so cool. And that was only a few months ago, which is kind of crazy to think about because so much has happened. But I did realize that, I always knew God was great, but I mean, he truly showed, his, because I really thought I was, gonna win, obviously gold, that was my main goal, but there's a reason why, and his plan isn't the same as mine, and I accepted that, and, I'm just super excited for 2028, and, Coach Terry, this whole camp, we've just been thinking about just being the best, and obviously to be the best, we have to beat number 1, which is Japan, so it just got me very motivated, and just reflecting back on Paris, I know the future is super bright.
Talk about now Iowa, the transition going into college and that whole experience. How's that been like? How's the season? Probably not as high as an Olympic Games, but what's kind of the differences between and the maybe some similarities between that?
Yeah, so transitioning from Olympics to Iowa was definitely different because, I was in Arizona, and then I went back home to Chicago, and then from Paris straight to Iowa. So it was a lot of different movements. But Iowa welcomed me with open arms. They were already posting me when I didn't even step foot on campus. They were updating, the fan base and how I was doing and stuff. So I had already felt I was already welcome without even being there. And so when I stepped foot on campus and on the mat, it felt like home for sure. And I have a family, I don't even call it really a team. I just feel like I just have a bunch of sisters, and then my coaches are just great mentors. So, I think the fan base is ridiculous. It really, when I was wrestling at Carver, I swear it reminded me so much of when I was wrestling at the Olympics, because the arena at the Olympics wasn't that big, so it was pretty packed, and everywhere I looked was an American flag. It was so patriotic. And then wrestling in Carver, they're just rooting for you. The fans love you. Every point you score is the best thing ever. So it was just it's amazing how similar they are, and I just love the fact that the fans are so passionate, and I just always want to do my best, put on a show because they take time out of their day to watch you. So why not give them the best show ever?
What has Iowa been able to work on with you? What have you been able to improve on since being at Iowa?
Yeah, so I mean at Iowa, I just love. First of all, we have Coach Chun. She was literally an assistant here for I don't know how many years. So she's been a top coach for a while, and then Coach Tanya, Olympic medalist. Coach Gary trained Greco, So I've learned so much from all my coaches, and I've definitely improved on just constantly chain wrestling, but also my turns. I just haven't been a big parterre girl. As people have probably seen in my wrestling, just been a lot of neutral, but we've hammered a lot. And even this is very small, but I didn't realize how much of an impact. We've been working on even getting off our backs. That's something that I don't even remember the last time I worked on getting off my back. But God forbid, you get thrown on your back. You're still in the match. You can get off. So there's just small things that actually make a big impact that I didn't even realize we need to train. And I just love that they really focus on small important areas that a lot of people overlook.
Talk about the team, right? Really deep, really in depth. I mean, you probably watched your teammates at the Worlds. What were your thoughts about Macy Kilty and Kylie? I mean, with their impressive performance and being a part of the U23 World team that did beat Japan. What you mentioned it earlier about Finland. What are your thoughts about that?
No, I'm just it's amazing to see our teammates, our girls going out there and chasing the dream that all of us dream, world titles, Olympic titles, stuff like that. So just seeing them on the world stage, we were all keeping each other updated in the group chat because some of us were in class, some of us were still finishing up practice, stuff like that. So I mean, it was just so exciting to see them even run with the flag, have the medals around their necks because that's when you truly know that you're hitting the pinnacle of, your career. You're hitting those goals that you set. So our team is so deep, though. We just have a lot of great, amazing girls. And I love that of course, our goal is, to win nationals, to be the best. But our goals are also aligned with Olympic and Worlds and stuff. So I just love that we all have very similar mentalities, and it just makes it easier to push each other.
Talk about obviously the coaches. You mentioned it a couple times before, but they seem to really be mentors to you. And how have they been able to change your, wrestling maybe mindset-wise?
Yeah, for sure. No, I just remember Coach Chun coming up to me one practice, and she's like, "Hey, how are you feeling and stuff?" And without even me telling her, she could just see that I was kind of in my head, because when you train hard, you sometimes it's not always linear. And she just always told me to just stay in the present moment. And then so that it just took a lot. I was like, oh wow, I need to really do that. So she's like, remember, Kenny, you're coming in here and this is your time to get better, and then once you step out of the wrestling room, you do your school, you do your homework, stuff like that. But when we're in wrestling, it's time to really focus. And so just her giving me those small reminders, it makes a huge impact. Especially when you're chasing, we have national duels coming up, so we all need to be locked in. But also Coach Tanya just being such a, because she took silver before, so it's easy to relate to her when it comes to, you're so close to that dream, and then sometimes it just doesn't go your way. So she understands where I'm coming from. And then Coach Gary, he's been in the USA Wrestling program for a while, so he just has so much knowledge and the small things that I don't even think about. He puts a lot of, it's he tells a story and then I'm like, where is this going? And then when he connects it, it's wow. So I just love how he gives different perspective. So each coach has their own thing, and it's just, it's great to just they're not just coaches to me, they're mentors. And I think that's a big thing that we have at Iowa that, other programs probably don't.
What excites you for the remainder of the season and talk about what's coming up and what's, the rest of the season going to look like for you?
Yeah, so, I mean, like I said, in 2 days we have national duels. So if we win that, we're national duel champs as a team, which is great. And then Kylie and Macy are going to Japan. And I was going to go, but I'm going to focus only on the ranking event in Croatia, which is February 3rd, I believe we leave. So they'll be over there, and then I'll be with the team. We might have some duels in between, and then I go to Croatia with Kylie and Macy. And after that, and that's a ranking event, so that'll be fun. And then yeah, after that we have regionals, and then we have nationals, which is exciting, and then probably U.S. Open and Final X. So we're just really hitting this competition season now. After we just had fall semester, we had our school, we had all that stuff, but now it's go time. We all trained so hard, and I'm just super excited to show what I've learned on the mat.
And finally, you think you're going to stay at Iowa for a while? It seems like the atmosphere and the partners that you're able to get with, is that your permanent home for the near future?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, Iowa is such a place. It's hard to leave. The only thing is the weather, but I mean, it's fine. But everything else is great. So, yeah, Arizona's weather I definitely miss. But I mean, like I said, just the people there, the fan base, and just the fact that it's a wrestling state, it's hard to leave, so I really love it there.